Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for joining today. We're back on the Grand Rapids in Indiana for part 2 of the Way Freight here. This time we're heading south back to Kalamazoo from Grand Rapids. Got a long one today. I think it's 27 cars or something like that, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong. I did go ahead, as I mentioned in the last video, and I got everything in order. So it's in order according to the switch list, manifest, whichever way you want to phrase it. But yes, it is in the order for which we will serve the industries. I haven't double checked that, so like, you know, if there's a couple of car spots on the same spur, they might be out of order. We've got to look at all that. So I might force that to change later within GR&I. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to run it today. No other traffic on the railroad for now, so don't have to worry about any meets or anything. It's kind of hard to coordinate all that when you're in single player, I'll be honest. Yeah, you can see it's a long train. I do have a northbound coming across the route. It's going to go to this staging yard here on the right. The 3 tracks that you see there for the New York Central. So that train, will eventually meet that train somewhere, but to only have to coordinate one train, especially when it's mostly a through train, isn't really such a hassle. All right. So there's our train. Let's pull up the switch list now. I do enjoy watching it climb this flyover, though. Maybe we'll pull the switch list in a moment. Not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty low overpass. Definitely can't take any high Q cars. But they don't exist yet. Such a cool feature. Just never realized I would like this so much. This flyover. It's okay, guys. Be happy with the stuff you make. Because, you know, it's yours. It's your accomplishment. You deserve to be proud of it. Ton of boxcars. That's understandable. It did take quite a bit of time actually to get this blocked in order, so I would wait to see how that goes with a real physical model before I decide if I need to make changes to this or not. So let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 of the cars are not boxcars. Let's see, we need to take the siding here, which you can see I haven't laid the signals out correctly yet. Not a problem. And here's the other northbound that's running. It's coming out of Sturgis staging. Just a through train. He's headed to, oh shoot, where's he headed? Oh yeah, first to Kalamazoo and then to Grand Rapids. His train's going to be real short after Kalamazoo, though. I think his switch list... Yeah, this is his. He's only got 3 cars that are going to stay with him past Kalamazoo, plus the caboose. And then he's picking up 1 car in Kalamazoo. Yeah, so real short train. Everything else is going to Kalamazoo, which honestly makes complete sense because the tracks at Kalamazoo are kind of empty. Alright, let's see. Let's look at the one we need, though. So we've got these first 4 setouts in Rust. That's coming up actually here relatively soon. RS1 and a Jeep 9 leading the way today. So I believe, probably incorrectly, I have not labeled them yet. Okay. That's where we offload actual steel. So the flat cars definitely need to go to that track. And this, I would imagine, because I put the excavator there, probably this thin is where all the scrap is going to be. So don't know if I'm going to keep that. Probably not. But yeah, this is a great example of why this road freight here, this road switcher, really slows down the movement on the railroad, because as you pull up here, and we don't even have any pickups, we literally just have setouts, but as you pull up here, when we park this train, it's still going to be blocking this part of the main here, so no train can follow us, at least not past that signal over there, and definitely no train can go against us yet. So that's what causes this to get slow, because you can't bury your whole train on a siding every time. Need to get that that flyover finished. All right. Break him off there. Pull ahead. Yes, I know. Haven't done any scenery yet. Ross is actually not a very big town, at least according to Google Maps. So, probably mostly a farm area here. Maybe I'll do something like Ravenna. We'll see. Not sure yet. We'll get there. Definitely a lot of polishing that needs to be done still on the route itself. But, you know, that's development. It's just part of the game. So, funny thing is, this is actually the New York Central Main coming out of Kalamazoo, right here into the staging track, or those two staging tracks. And it's a local that runs into Kalamazoo to the interchange yard and then leaves, right? So it drops off cars here and picks up cars here, and then it works these industries on the way back and then, you know, heads off to staging. This train runs on the Pincy main line. It's like it joins the Pincy in Sturgis from the New York Central, which I don't model that connection. It's just staging. And then it travels all the way to Grand Rapids, where it comes off of the Pincy, once again onto its home tracks, to other areas, Old Michigan Central Line, you know, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, so it gets me, or lets me have some, you know, some other road freights that are not Pincy. You know, and they're mostly running through. So they just pretty much work Kalamazoo, and that's it. Grand Rapids doesn't do any work with any other railroads other than Pincy. At least not according to how I've set it up. I know that wasn't the case in the real world. It's okay. I have not taken any serious attempts to model anything according to the prototype here. I am making it up. But that's it, you know. It's your railroad, your rules, have fun. That's what matters. And I'm definitely having a lot of fun. I forget what cars on that other one are getting left. Ah, the two box cars go to the local yard, okay. And they're supposed to pick up a stock car. What two box cars? Oh, a Rock Island and IC car. Oh, actually, no. Sorry. Yes, all of this is getting set out. My bad. I knew that. Ha! Psych! Anyways, so we'll have it pick up that stock car, and then we'll have it just continue on. And I went ahead and put the other cars that are on this train going to other places. I've got them at the front. So, those three. We'll just go pick up that stock car right there. And then we'll drop the rest off in the yard and be on our merry way. But since that's not the train we're running, I'll probably just leave it there. We'll see. We'll see what we do. Since there's not a ton of scenery yet, it's not like there's a bunch of pretty stuff to look at. I'll probably do a lot of bouncing around. Otherwise, you'll just be enjoying some nice views of the Plywood Central. Okay, let's go ahead and get that to back up. You need to stop, actually. Yep, thank you. Went a little far, and that's okay. You know, I knew in the back of my mind it was happening, but I also knew I didn't have a chance to get over there. Love those weathered cars, man. Looks great. Let's give it at least a car length of space here. That'll do. Let's get back to our baby here. Thank you. Alright, so we have set out 4 cars in Ross. Let's mark those up. That's on this one. Done. Now we're off to Wayland. 2 at the textile mill, 1 at the co-op. Okay, not bad. Should be in order. They're not exactly. So see, yeah, that's no surprise there. Oh, you know what? That's because I know why. There's an extra car. That's why. It's also going to the co-op, so at least group those together. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Cool beans. Yeah, I left him there. That's fine. Alright, let's make sure we've got all the switches lined into Wayland correctly. Looks like we're lined to the main there. We need to be lined onto the main, onto the siding for this one to set out at the co-op. The co-op here is this double-ended spur. Excellent. Alright, we are in fact lined into the siding. Perfect. Pretty sure the track for boxcars at the textile mill is these 2. I really need to get these labeled with track marks. That's a bad job on my part. That'll be one of the first things I do next. Welcome to the Plywood Central, folks. Alright, while we're waiting on that, let's go do a little bit of work here. I'm pretty sure I've already uncoupled. I have not. To be fair, this train would be dropping off quite a few cars in Kalamazoo. But then it would also be picking up quite a few. And since I just haven't run the locals here yet, there just aren't really a lot of cars to pick up. So it's going to be disproportionately short, but that's okay. I'm actually enjoying using these through trains as a way of getting cars onto the layout. You know, it's just a lot easier when you just put them on a staging track and you call them empty, and then you let the program decide where to take them. It makes it really easy. Not sure why there's a bit of hesitation on this thing today. What's going on, man? Not really using that much of my GPU today. That'll do for this one, just in time there. So these 2 USRA cars are going to get set out at Thomas and Textile. What are they loaded with, actually? Both with cotton. Nice. It came from the south. Northern Pacific car, yeah, right. Hey, we're running carpools by now. That's just how this works. It's better than demurrage agreements and all that other jazz. Way too expensive. Carpools is far more efficient. Sorry, carpools are far more efficient. Alright, let's get those 2 guys set out. Bring our train up with us. Wayland will be an interesting town to build out. I need to build out the textile mill too. See what I want to do with that. Not sure yet. Plenty of time to decide. Let's get those pulling forward like so, and let's get, you guys need to clear that switch. Definitely going to build this railroad as a multi-decker, but I'm going to build it in sections so that they literally will just lift out of the framing they're in. Don't worry, I'll get some advice on that first. I just want it to be able to be mobile, but not truly modular, because I don't actually like modular railroads, like for myself. If one operates well, I don't care what it looks like, to be fair. But as far as design features for myself, since I have a choice, I would prefer to not actually be purely modular, but I do want it to be able to be easily assembled and disassembled for moving. So we'll make some compromises, you know? That's okay. I can handle compromises. Like wanting to make a video about one train, but actually making it about two. Choo choo. Yes, I realized this Milwaukee car here, this extra one that we towed along with us, I did realize when I put this train together that in this case, that car would need to be set out actually, because I allow this train to be right up to its maximum length. And so if you take any extra cars, then you actually cause the train to be too long, and then it crowds up like control points. So, something to think about in this case. $255. Yeah, that one's going to the co-op. Cool. Co-op cars probably are out of order, but they're at least grouped correctly. Alright, Wayland, yay! Should I put in a token passenger train? I don't know. I don't know. It's not really what I'm into. It'd be pretty boring to run, probably. That's funny. Sorry about the jumping around. Trying to manage two trains in real time. Welcome to Trains with a Z, as I've said many times on this channel before. Things that you wish didn't happen. Alright. Let's get forward here. Need to get these named as well. That's so confusing, but it actually is for that one. That's on me. Can't do it better than that. So all right, so out we go. South of Wayland. To the co-op. So Wayland has its own very small co-op. Then there's the big co-op between Wayland and whatever, Plainwell. I was going to say whatever that other town is. And then Plainwell also has its own small co-op. It's because I like those kinds of industries. Just like the interchanges over here between Kalamazoo and Sturgis are mostly focused on raw milk interchange to send to the creamery over here. It's because that's what I wanted to model. So the Grand Rapids side is very heavily machinery and automotive focused, and the Kalamazoo side is a little more broad. So pretty much those first 4 cars are the only cars going to Grand Rapids. All the other cars are going to stop off here in Kalamazoo, so we're just going to leave them on the RD track. Be a fun little scene to model here. Because of this texture difference here to cover up the diagonal, I'll have to probably just do like some bushes and stuff, but it's okay. It'll be fine. Okay, so it looks like the stock cars go behind the grain cars. Mission accomplished, man. Look at that typo. Yep. And then the feed cars go there. Do I have any feed cars on this train? Yes, actually, 1. Okay, the Milwaukee car. Nice. Put in like a road crossing here, maybe a bridge. Probably a bridge. I know there's a little hill there, but great chance to throw a bridge in. Normal road crossing over there wouldn't be bad. You know, like I said last time, give some reasons to blow the horn a bit. I think that much space is one town. Holy cow. Yeah, so here I'm afraid actually this guy will just have to stay and wait. And that's because I forgot to add a switch lever to this switch, so I can't throw it. That's okay. Alright, to be able to work those industries, we mostly need the siding. So I'll have us go to the siding. But I know that, you know, a coal car or two might cause us to come back, but that's okay. So see, all this time, this train could have been held up in Ross, it could have been held up in Wayland, to wait for other trains coming through. Same thing here with Plainwell. Tell the dispatcher you've got to do some work at the co-op before you get to Plainwell. But then, yeah, once you get to Plainwell, you might have to sit and wait. Maybe there's a train behind you that needs to pass. Maybe there's a couple in front of you. Who knows? If you want to do this job, hope you like rail fanning, because you're going to be doing a lot of that too. But, that just makes it where not every job is the same, and that's important. I forget how many of these cars are just going to Kalamazoo. 2, 4, 6, 7 more at Plainwell, and then 6 going to Kalamazoo. It's not bad. Spread them out pretty well, actually. I've been asked before why I do a lot of rectangular corners when I could just curve it around. And honestly, it's just because, since it's a game, it is a lot less work to do that. But two, that just gives me more space to expand a scene, knowing that I wouldn't really do that on a model. Like on the model, this would definitely be rounded around the corner here. Just because, when people are walking, it's good to not have a ton of corners if you can avoid it. But at the same time, that's a decent little size space there that I can add all kinds of details that normally would get overlooked on an operating railroad, because sometimes an operating railroad doesn't really focus on the scenery, and so sometimes things get left out. If it was one that was literally just for running trains in circles through really pretty scenes, it would mostly be focused on detail, whereas this one's mostly focused on industries and track work and operations. Yeah, I do that a lot. And honestly, Grand Rapids is a good example of why. I extended it there and I was able to put an industry in it. Look at that. Here I curved it off a bit, yeah. Just, space constraints, of course, and that's fine. But technically, same deal here. I could have put industries there if I wanted to. I just, wanted to open the scene up a bit. But still, on the real one, I probably would curve that. Probably would curve that. Alright, so all the co-op setouts are done. Annie for the coal. Yep, 1. Where is he? There he is. He's the last one. Okay, yeah, that's cool. We can do that. So the question I asked myself that I'm still deciding what I want to do, and it probably will just depend on me building this and testing in real life, which means I won't have an answer for years, is when it comes to this freight, for example. We've got these, 7 cars that got to go to Plainwell. Do I literally put them cut by cut, or do I block them by location? So like these 2 cars on the switch list. Look at that. They are not even... Actually, you know what? My bad. They might actually be together. So there's 2 C&J cars. Yeah, okay, so they are together. Do I want to do that every time? That's the question, right? How much time do I want this train to spend on the main? Because I have to decide. I'm either going to frustrate the crews out on the main, or I'm going to frustrate the crews in the yard. So, who do I want to get frustrated, right? And to be fair, if this is the only train that would frustrate anyone on the main, it might be worth letting that be frustrating. So it's a decision of, do we block each car according to the cut it's going to be in, That's a cut. That's a cut. Those three are cuts. That's a cut. That's a cut, Or do we just say, oh, that's one block because it's all going to Plainwell. Boom. I know what the prototype would do. I know. I'm judging for myself and what I want to do for an operating session. So we'll see. We'll see. Considering that when I start building this, I'm going to start here and work my way around, it's going to be a while. Another fact that this is an industry that ties all the way over here. I need to figure out a way to make that big. I might want to even extend this track or add another one just to make it quote unquote big. I'm not sure. I mean, that's still like probably 8-9 cars. That's a lot on a train that's only carrying 25-ish to 30. Yeah, how many did we depart Grand Rapids with? 26 cars plus one because I had an extra in tow. Yeah. 27 cars. Oh, look at that. Grain, feed, and stock in front of the feed. Okay. Grain, feed. So the C and J car, the second one is the feed car. The other three are grain cars, actually. All right. So that is a feed car. These are grain cars. Okay. Notice it's not blocked by cut. Not precisely. So this was more blocked by industry, rather. But yeah, it's one of those things like if I formulate the switch list the way I want, then I can just tell the crew, hey, for this train, you literally need to put the cars in the order that's advertised. Which, by the way, the order here usually matches the order here. So it's pretty consistent for the most part, sorry. All right, who's up first? Reading is up first. Yeah, that's a grain car. Followed by Central Vermont grain car, followed by the C&J feed car. All right, yeah, there you go. So if those are grain cars, yes, they need to go on that track. Cool, lucky me because I was moving too fast. And just to check, C&W car is a grain car. Good, okay. Everything's in order. Excellent. Oh, I knew it was going to do that the moment I clicked on it. I tried to not click, but I failed. They're all empty. Okay, yeah, they're all getting loaded with grain. Good. It's good to see actual boxcars get loaded with grain still. Yeah, we shoved it to the back this time because it is a spot. The stock cars are up here. It's like probably just one or two cars of either, and that's it. You need to put them in a pool, so it's like they can each hold 2, but it's a max of 3. That's really what I should do. Make a note of that, actually. No, like seriously, I'm writing it down. Cool. Little note to self for later. Okay, now where are these guys going again? And let's see if they're in order. So one to the freight depot, one to the lumber and coal supply. I forget who's in front. Ooh, the freight depot's in the back. Oh, lucky us, they're in the right order. Lucky us. Actually, let's pull the train forward. See, this is the time where we can do pretty much all our switching. We're within the control point, so, you know, well, for now, we're about to not be, but this would be the time when the dispatcher would be getting trains to just scream by, you know. Stack them and run them. But yeah, we're going to finish up here in Kalamazoo with 6 cars and a caboose. Excuse me, cabin. Keep doing that. When you've got the New York Central hat on, it is a caboose. When you've got the Pincy hat on, it's a cabin. Get it right, Dave. Get it right. Part of me wants to be lazy and put a crossover in right here so I can just... That would be so lazy. Those are done. Excellent. So all in all, that would have been on screen way faster than in real life on a model where that would have been an hour and 40-ish minutes of recording. So I would say in the real world, with the real model, plus accounting for holds and weights and meets and all that stuff, this is a 3 to 4 hour job. It might even become a, hey, we do we do one leg of this. Yeah, we do one leg of this to Grand Rapids, and then we build the outbound leg, and that's like one of the first trains to the next session. Just depends. I have no idea. Because, you know, here I'm just setting out, so it's faster. But if we had to do pickups as well, it would basically double the amount of time it's taking to get this done. Alright, let's go drop off this coal car, and then let's get ourselves in the Kalamazoo yard. So we will do the prudent thing. We will leave our train here. There's no point in pulling forward, backing the whole train up, only to then break apart, set the car, and then get the train again. So it's wasting 2 moves. We'll just leave it here. Then we just literally shove the car right back, come back and get our train. And then even better, we're able to clear up the main and be on the siding. So even better. Dispatcher would love us for that. And of course we'd let him know that we're done switching and, you know, we're looking for clearance. Let's see, we lined up correctly. Yeah, he'll dodge that train, that's good. Okay. I think I'll put a crossing literally right there. I was just imagining in my mind all the different times that the crew here will have to request track and time from the dispatcher. So that was one. That was one. That was one. Ross, I think, could have got away without it. But yeah, getting that track and time so you can have local control of switches here to throw on yourself while you're switching. So this is where we would reconnect, and we would back up clear of the signal, which, you know, mystery signal's not here yet. And we would actually release our track and time officially, and then ask the dispatcher for clearance to the yard. It's got to be done in that order. You can't just drive to the yard. Yeah, 3 RD tracks. I finally remembered why I had this crossover there. It's because this is an RD track. So it was really this crossover was the one that I had forgotten I needed. But that's so that this train right here can access the interchange yard and the RD tracks in the class yard. So remember this. RD tracks. So main RD tracks, class yard, local yard, interchange yard. Canadian National Yard. 4 yards in Kalamazoo. Holy cow. I'll be honest, guys, there's not too much more to see on this one. Just going to get it into the RD track and call it a day. That's the yard crew's problem at that point. This has been fun. I enjoyed this. I was glad to run this freight. I definitely need more scenery. The scenery got really boring. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until I see you guys again out there, I wish you the best of luck. Hope things go well for you, and hope you guys are having a good time. Appreciate you all tuning in and checking out the video. Tried to say checking in and tuning in at the same time. We'll catch you guys out there next time. See ya.